Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. Well, today is for the Mercury fans. We have twin monsters here. These are the 2020 450 Racing Mercury V8. I got full service. There is a lot of things to see, a lot to check and a lot to learn. So let's go ahead and dive in. Follow me on this. So this is kind of old news already, but for those that haven't seen it or don't know, to take the cover off in these things, there is no latches anywhere like the other cowlings. So just go to the top of the cover in the rear. You see this kind of a square cover, and there is a dent right there. Pushing that dent kind of really hard and quick, like so, and it opens, right? Okay, once this opens, you're gonna see this black handle, plastic handle with a red button. Grab the handle, push with your thumb the red button, and lift the handle upwards. That's it, and the cowling comes off, okay? Okay, so on the starboard side of the midsection on the motor, you'll see this little fitting here. It's not little, but it's a fitting. So I think I've shown this in another service in one of my videos. I'll probably put the link, but anyway, I'll show you the same thing I did in the other video. So you have this fitting, which is where you drain your oil. It's a 5/8 socket. Anyway, so I put the 5/8, and sometimes these fittings, when service is being like delayed for a while, are like very hard to take out, okay? So you go to the good old breaker bar, okay? So let's try this thing, let me see. Okay, here it goes. Okay, and I go up again and down, up and down, a couple of times until I know I can grab my shorter ratchet and put it on. I think that's enough. Okay, once it's loose like that, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll put my shorter ratchet. Okay, I know it's okay, now it's loose, and I'll wait until I see the first drips. At least the first, let me put this rack here. At least the first couple of drops coming out. Not yet. Not yet. And as soon that happens, oh, there you go. I tighten it back on, so I stop the leak, and I'll bring this hose that I show you later. Oh my God, I'm making a mess, which I don't like at all. Okay, let me put this thing on right now and have it drain inside my bucket. What a mess. I don't like oil on my floor, and I think that I got some of it. So there it is. So it's already draining inside the bucket. What did I do? I got this hose that I stretch with an oversized bolt and put a little heat on it, made the plastic size of the hose a little larger so it will fit this fitting, making it a tight fit. It's in there. And then I put a bucket and then let it drain. So I gotta open the flow because I just shut it, right? So after you use your ratchet, you can't put a ratchet there, a socket there, because the hose is in your way. So go ahead and do it with an open 3/8 range, okay? And now we are opening the flow little by little. There you go, a little more. You don't have to go all the way. Just watch your flow. When you feel confident that the flow is fast enough, I think that's good. Let it drain. All right. So next, we're gonna go ahead and replace the spark plugs. It's nothing to it. There are 4 spark plugs per side. Obviously, it's a V8. I think I mentioned that before. I think we went back in technology to use spark plug cables again with ignition coils, but whatever. There are cables in here, so just pull the uneven or odd side or an even side on the right, the starboard side, which is 1357. On the other side, 2468. Now, a tip here, remember, once you pull this out, it's gonna be a long boot, right? You need a long extension, right? It's another truck passing by. So remember, these are not 5/8 spark plugs. All right, they are thinner. They are a lot thinner than 5/8. You can use a 9/16 and it'll work. I'd rather use the long 14 metric. I think it's a tighter fit and a long extension. So remember that it's not a 5/8. It's either a 14 millimeter long socket or 9/16. All right, couple of tips here. One of the things that Mercury likes is to gap the spark plugs. When I grabbed the other one, for some reason I thought they were iridium, but they're not. So anyway, always keep some of the spark plugs that you removed, the old ones, and try to check what the other guy did. In this case, I'm checking, and it's pretty close, but it needed a little more. Mercury wants 35 thousandths of an inch or 0.09 millimeters, all right? 0.9 millimeters, which is just a tiny hair less than a millimeter, or 35 thousandths of an inch. So what I did was I grabbed my feeler gauge and I put 32 thousandths in one blade and 0.003 on the other one to make 35, right? So I'm gonna check what the other guy, if the other guy gapped the spark plugs, and he kind of didn't. I'm bending these ones. So do all your, in this case there are 16 spark plugs because obviously both motors, they're both V8. And another, once you're done, you're done. And another tip, once you're done with your feeler gauge, either it's expensive or a cheap one or whatever, use a paper bag, really this brown kind of paper bag, to wrap it around and store it in your toolbox. Let me tell you, this tip really helps. Otherwise, you'll be buying feeler gauge every 2 months. All right, so let's gap these spark plugs and go to the next one. Okay, another couple of tips I want to throw at you. All right, we're ready to remove the hose, okay? Obviously, you know how I feel about oil in my floor, so I just put always, a little rag or something. And we're gonna close this with the open range, right? Let's close this with an open range, right? Enough so we know that it's not draining anymore because the hose is clear and we can see that there is not any more oil. So I'm gonna go and snug it before I remove the hose, right? Let me go on the other side. Just didn't want to be in front of your camera, but that's kind of a snug right there. So now we're gonna remove this, I call it special tool. Just a clear hose. We'll use our 3/8, our 5/8 to tighten the drain, the oil drain, about there. Okay, that's good. We don't have to go too crazy, but that's good. So once that's tightened, okay, one of the tricks I use to make sure that there is no oil left in the fitting, and then I'm gonna see some dripping and I'll be doubting myself if I shut this off enough, or if it was leftovers from the fitting. So I just put a rag here and cleaner, and I just spray it all the way inside the fitting like so. Watch your eyes, because obviously all these things gonna come out, right? We're gonna clean it and spray it again. Okay, you go. Clean all this and make sure that there is nothing inside the nipple, the fitting, right? I'm gonna put a little rag to see if I got any residue left. I got a little bit left, so I'm gonna torque it just another little bit. That's enough. And I'll try my spray again. Put my rag. Steel black's coming out. Steel black's coming out. Steel black's coming out. Okay, good. All that's coming out right now from that fitting is just clear cleaner, right? So you clean your area, and then you come back. While you finish the service, you come back probably an hour later or whatever, if you see anything at all, any residue, any drip of black oil or something coming out of that fitting, means it's not shut down all the way, or something is happening with the seal that is still dripping. So you don't have to think that what you're seeing is probably leftovers that was left in the fitting when you shut it down. If you clean it with a cleaner, then you know that whatever comes out it's not coming out from the fitting, but from the inside of the motor. Okay, I think it's probably a small tip, but I think it's important. While you are installing your spark plugs, okay, after you gap them, remember you gap your spark plugs, right? And you're putting the spark plug in, I'm gonna take it off so for the sample. And you're putting your spark plug back in the hole, don't go like that. Don't make any like force trying to find a hole, because any contact with the rim of the hole of the spark plug is gonna bring that electrode down from 35 thousandths of an inch, and then if you hit that too hard, that spark plug is gonna be wrongfully gapped, okay? So just put it on. I put a little liquid grease in all my threads. So and just go real slow, finding that hole by feeling, and as soon as you find it, just give it a few turns and you're done. Just don't smack it down in order not to bend that electrode, okay?